Hi, I'm John Burness. I am a composer, music composer, poetry educator and performer, and I'm a translator. And I am going to perform for you a very special poem. It's very special to me personally. And before I do that, I want to give a brief explanation as to why. So the title of this poem is The Poet at 17, and it is written by Levis. And the reason this poem is so special is it's just because of mainly the title, The Poet at 17. And do you want to know how old I was when I wrote my very first poem? I was 17. I remember the date. It was January 20th, 2020. And I wrote it walking on the beach in Daytona Beach, Florida. And I shared it on my Instagram at the time in high school. And all of my classmates, they all loved it and said some very wonderful things about it. My sister said some wonderful things about it. My sister's boyfriend said some wonderful things about it. Well, her boyfriend at the time, at least. And I guess after many years and many false starts and many lulls and many plateaus, it has now been 6 years, and I do it semi-professionally now, and I've gotten to associate with some of the best poets in the entire world. And I am so thankful that I get to immerse myself in this art every single day. I really hope I can have the privilege of continuing to do it, and I can only imagine that day that I can make poetry my full-time job and my main source of income. And right now I can only pray, but that's pretty much where all my creative fuel is going, is the hope that one day that will be a reality. And I'm so thankful to everybody, and there was a lot of people that have helped me gotten to this point, and that will help me get there. So I will now perform for you The Poet at 17 by Levis. My youth, I hear it mostly in the long, volleying echoes of billiards in the pool hall where I spent it all, extravagantly believing my delicate touch on a cue would last for years. Outside, the vineyards vanished under rain, and the trees held still or seemed to hold their breath when the men I worked with, pruning orchards, sang their lost songs. Amapala, La Paloma. Jalisco, Notorajes, the corny tunes their sons would just as soon forget. At recess, where they lounged apart in small groups of their own, still, even when they laughed in Spanish. I hated high school then, and on weekends drove a tractor through the widowed fields. It was so boring. I memorized poems above the engine's monotone. Sometimes whole days slipped past without my noticing. And birds of all kinds flew in front of me then. I learned to tell them apart by their empty squabblings. The slightest change in plumage or the inflection of a call. And why not admit it? I was happy. Then I believed in no one. I had the kind of solitude the world usually allows only to kings and criminals who are extinct, who disdain this world and who rot, corrupt and shallow as fields I disked. I turned up the same gray earth for years. Still, the land made a glum raisin each autumn and made that little hell of days. The vines must have seemed like cages to the Mexicans, who were paid 7 cents a tray for the grapes they picked. Inside the vines it was hot, and spiders strummed their emptiness. Black widow, daddy longlegs, the vine canes whipped our faces. None of us cared. And the girl I talked to after class sailed by, then each night lay enthroned in my bed, with nothing on but the jewels of their embarrassment. Eyes, lips, dreams. No one. The sky and the road. A life like that? It seemed to go on forever. Reading poems in school, then driving a stuttering tractor, warm afternoons, then billiards on blue October. Nights, the thick scars, but mostly now I remember. The trees, wearing their mysterious yellow sullenness like party dresses, and parties I didn't attend. And then the first ice hung like spider lattices, or the embroideries of great aunt no one. And then the first dark entering the trees, and inside the adults with their cocktails before dinner, the way they always seemed afraid of something, and sat so rigidly, although the land was theirs. Thank you. Thank you. As they say in Hawaiian, me ka mahalo. That means with gratitude.